Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you said something awkward, or stayed up late wondering why you haven't figured it all out yet? Most of us associate being smart with confidence and quick answers, but psychology suggests that true intelligence often feels a lot more like doubt. It's quiet, it's observant, and it often shows up in the habits we're most self-critical about. If you've spent your life feeling like you're just average, or even a bit behind, you might actually be operating on a level you haven't given yourself credit for. Let's look at 10 subtle signs that you're much smarter than you think. You often feel like you don't know enough. It sounds a bit backwards, doesn't it? Usually, we associate being smart with having all the answers. But if you're someone who constantly feels like there's a massive gap in your knowledge, it's actually a sign of high cognitive awareness. You're likely familiar with the feeling of diving into a new hobby or topic, only to realize just how deep the ocean goes. While others might learn a few facts and feel like experts, you stay humble because you can see the complexity they're missing. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's the ability to perceive the vastness of what you haven't mastered yet. You're a natural why seeker. Think about how you navigate a normal day. When something breaks, or a friend mentions a strange fact, or a new rule is implemented at work, your brain doesn't just accept it. You find yourself tracing the threads back to the source. You want to know the mechanics, the history, and the reasoning behind things. This isn't about being difficult or overthinking. It's a sign of a restless, analytical mind that refuses to settle for surface-level explanations. You value the how and the why more than the what, which is a hallmark of true intellectual curiosity. You're a natural observer of people and patterns. You might find yourself in a room, not necessarily leading the conversation, but quietly noticing the shift in someone's tone or the way a group's energy changes when a certain topic comes up. This isn't just being quiet. It's a high level of social and situational intelligence. You pick up on the subtext, the things people aren't saying. While others are busy reacting, you're busy processing. You notice the tiny details in your environment that others miss, and you often find yourself connecting dots between two seemingly unrelated events. This ability to synthesize information from your surroundings is a clear indicator of a sharp, active mind that's always working in the background. You find yourself deeply bothered by logical inconsistencies. We've all been there, sitting in a meeting or watching a movie where something just doesn't add up, and it feels like an itch you can't scratch. If you have a low tolerance for fluff or ideas that don't hold water, it's because your brain is wired for efficiency and clarity. You value truth over convenience. This might make you feel like you're being picky, but in reality, your mind is simply highly attuned to structure. You can see when a bridge between two ideas is missing, and your instinct is to fix it. It's a sign that you value the integrity of information, which is something only a truly thoughtful person does. You genuinely enjoy your own company. This isn't necessarily about being an introvert. It's about the fact that your inner world is actually an interesting place to be. If you find that you don't need constant external stimulation or background noise to feel okay, it's often because your mind is busy enough on its own. You might spend your commute or your evening walk just playing with ideas, rehearsing conversations, or reflecting on something you read earlier. Smart people often have a high need for cognition, meaning their brains crave the workout of thinking. When you're alone, you aren't bored. You're exploring. This self-sufficiency shows that your intellect provides you with a sense of engagement that many others have to seek from the outside world. You appreciate nuance over black and white thinking. You've probably noticed that most people love to take sides or find simple answers to difficult problems. If you find yourself constantly saying, well, it depends, or it's more complicated than that, you're demonstrating a high level of intellectual maturity. You understand that two things can be true at once, and that human experiences rarely fit into neat little boxes. While this can sometimes feel like indecisiveness, It's actually a sign that your brain is capable of holding complex, conflicting information without rushing to a shallow conclusion. You're comfortable sitting with the gray areas of life, which requires a much higher level of processing power than simply picking a side. You tend to be a bit messy or disorganized. We often hear that a clean desk equals a clean mind, but for many highly intelligent people, the opposite is true. If your workspace or your home tends to have a managed chaos feel to it, it might be because your brain's prioritized elsewhere. When you're deep in thought or focused on solving a problem, the physical placement of a coffee mug or a stack of papers becomes secondary to the ideas you are chasing. Studies have even suggested that slightly messy environments can actually spark creativity and new ways of looking at things. Your mind is likely more interested in breaking boundaries and exploring concepts than in maintaining a rigid external order. You have a quirky, sometimes dark sense of humor. Intelligence and humor are more linked than most people realize. If you read the one who makes a subtle joke that takes a second for everyone to catch, or if you appreciate wit that's a bit more complex, it's a sign of rapid mental processing. Humor requires you to take a situation, flip it on its head, and find a hidden connection, all in a split second. If you find joy in wordplay, irony, or even the absurdities of life that others seem to overlook, it shows you have the cognitive flexibility to see the world from multiple angles at once. It's not just about being funny. It's about having a mind that can jump between different layers of meaning effortlessly. You often feel like you don't fit into a single box. Maybe you're an artist who loves math, or a logical thinker who's deeply moved by poetry. If you've always felt like a bit of a contradiction, it's because your intelligence isn't one-dimensional. You have the ability to bridge different worlds, adapting your thinking to whatever situation is in front of you. His mental fluidity allows you to talk to almost anyone and find common ground, not because you're faking it, but because you can genuinely see things from their perspective. You don't just have one set of tools in your mental shed. You have an entire workshop. This adaptability is the ultimate sign of a high-functioning mind that can thrive in a world that is constantly changing. You're remarkably good at admitting when you're wrong. It takes a certain level of intellectual security to say, "I hadn't thought of it that way," or "I was mistaken." If you value the truth more than your own ego, you're operating at a level of self-awareness that many people never reach. You see a change of mind not as a defeat, but as an upgrade to your internal software. By letting go of old, incorrect information to make room for the new, you're showing that your growth is more important to you than being right in the moment. It's a quiet, humble form of brilliance that allows you to keep evolving while others stay stuck. Being smart isn't about knowing everything. It's about being open to everything.